Welcome back. We're here again in the KPPTEAM studio.
Great to be back.
And you've tuned in just in time because we are embarking on another deep dive today. And this one, well, it promises to be one of our most immersive journeys yet, I think.
Sounds exciting.
We're stepping into the lives, the worldviews, and frankly, the profound challenges faced by some of the most unique tribal communities on Earth.
Yeah.
These aren't just, names on a map. These are living, breathing, human operating systems that offer just extraordinary lessons.
That's absolutely right. Our mission today really is to unpack how these communities define their daily existence.
Okay.
How they secure their sustenance amidst, well, often intense external pressures.
Right, like environmental changes.
Exactly. Pressures like shrinking lands, limited access to food because of, massive commercial projects like dams, or the creeping threats of pollution and deforestation. It's a lot.
Yeah, it really is.
And we'll also explore how they navigate their intricate social environments and what their hopes and visions for the future look like. We're drawing heavily from the rich source material you've provided.
Okay.
And this isn't just about cataloging what they do. It's about understanding the why behind their struggles, their joys, their deepest desires, their core beliefs.
The human element.
Precisely. And in doing that, maybe, just maybe, redefining our own understanding of resilience and, dare I say, happiness.
And for you, our listener, the goal is clear. We want you to gain a quick yet thorough understanding. To spark those aha moments, uncover surprising facts, but without feeling totally overwhelmed by information.
Yeah, keep it digestible.
My hope is that by the end of this deep dive, your perspective on what it truly means to be well-informed about, well, the incredible tapestry of human diversity will have shifted, perhaps even profoundly.
Let's hope so.
So let's begin this fascinating exploration.
Where do we start?
We're going to start our journey by delving into the very essence of the nomadic spirit, that deep, abiding connection to land.
Okay.
And we're beginning with the Hadza of Tanzania.
Ah, the Hadza.
These are truly one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer societies on Earth. Their numbers are small, only around 1,500 people total.
That's tiny.
It is. And what's particularly striking is that only about 300 of them still maintain a mostly traditional lifestyle near Lake Eyasi.
Just 300. Wow.
And their language, Hadza, it's a linguistic isolate, a unique click language.
Completely unrelated to anything else.
Exactly. It's just mind-blowing. Their very existence is ancient. We have archaeological evidence of similar foraging behavior in the region dating back, at least 50,000 years?
50,000 years. It's staggering.
It's like looking directly into a living window to our human past.
It truly is. And their lifestyle is utterly distinct. I mean, no farming, no herding.
Nothing like that.
And critically, no food storage. Zero.
So day-to-day survival.
Entirely. Their entire economy, their very survival, is based purely on foraging, hunting, and gathering, which necessitates constant mobility.
Right, they have to follow the resources.
Precisely. So their camps are incredibly lightweight. They build these temporary grass shelters in, minutes.
Just throw them up.
Yeah, and abandon them without a second thought when it's time to move on.
Wow. And socially?
Fiercely egalitarian, meaning, no chiefs, no permanent hierarchy. And crucially, no work coercion. You cannot be forced to hunt or gather.
Really? How's that work?
The core principle is sharing. It's completely non-transactional. Their philosophy is simple but powerful. If you have, you give. If you need, you ask.
Just like that.
Just like that. No currency, no bartering, just this inherent trust and reciprocity.
Their resourcefulness in getting food sounds incredible, too.
Oh, it is. Their diet is incredibly diverse. They hunt almost anything.
Like what?
Bats, mongoose, hornbill, even baboons. Pretty much everything is fair game.
Except hyenas, I read.
Except hyenas, yes. And hunting is a communal effort. They use dogs, about 15 of them, as crucial companions.
How do the dogs help?
They enhance human senses, basically, help them detect things humans can't, like a natural extension of the hunting party.
Clever.
And they use specific types of poison-tipped arrows for different animals. Like, there's a hooked arrow designed specifically for bush pigs, to make sure it sticks.
Smart. But, as I was reading the sources, one anecdote really, it stopped me in my tracks.
What was that?
The description of a grown man biting the esophagus of a deer to kill it.
Ah, yes. That one.
I mean, what does that incredible raw act reveal about their connection to sustenance, to the very act of hunting?
Well, that visceral connection, as you put it, it's fundamental to their entire worldview. It really is.
How so?
It extends even to something as universal as their perception of time. What's truly fascinating here is their radical presentness.
Radical present.
Yeah. Attention is rooted squarely in the now. There's like no anxiety about tomorrow and absolutely no regret about yesterday.
That sounds peaceful. Almost impossible for us.
Doesn't it? Their time perception is nonlinear. Events are cyclical, not teleological. The point isn't to progress in our sense, but to stay in harmony with the natural rhythm.
So less striving, more flowing.
Exactly. It manifests in what's described as a flow culture. Days are spent in activity clusters, hunt, rest, joke, dance, cook, sleep, rather than these rigid hour-by-hour schedules we live by.
A flow culture, I like that.
And this isn't just some quaint lifestyle choice, you know? It's a profound challenge to our modern anxieties. It offers a kind of blueprint for living unburdened by future worries or past regrets.
It really forces us to ask, what could a flow culture teach us about finding joy and purpose in the everyday, instead of constantly chasing distant goals?
Precisely. And this very present-focused way of life also means they engage in a profoundly sustainable use of their environment. They don't overhunt or overharvest. They maintain this delicate balance with nature.
That makes sense. But despite their deeply traditional ways, the sources indicate they're not entirely untouched by the outside world, are they?
No, not entirely. You do see subtle signs of external influence.
Like what kind of things?
Well, sometimes they receive modern things like steel pots, maybe large bags of cornmeal ugali, as it's known there, and even, jeans.
Jeans, really?
Yeah.
So that suggests some level of external support, maybe from the government or aid groups.
It does suggest some level of interaction, however small. And this interaction, it underscores the significant threats they face.
Yeah, what are the main threats?
Their land. The very foundation of their way of life, it's shrinking.
Why?
Increasingly claimed by other tribes for cattle raising. And their traditional culture is gradually changing as the modern world penetrates these remote areas.
So their future is uncertain.
Very uncertain. It challenges their resilient operating system, as you called it earlier. It raises this urgent question of how long they can maintain this unique way of life when the very land that sustains them is, well, diminishing.
That struggle for land, it sounds like a microcosm of a larger global issue many indigenous communities face.
It absolutely is.
Okay, so from the sun-baked plains of Tanzania, let's transition. Let's carry these insights across continents to another community whose life is just as entwined with their environment.
Where are we headed?
To northern Mongolia. To meet the Satan, literally, the reindeer people.
Ah, the reindeer herders of the taiga.
Yes. A nomadic tribe, only about 200 members, who share this inseparable, almost sacred bond with their reindeer. It's clear their lives are deeply intrinsically connected.
Indeed. The reindeer are absolutely central to their survival, especially in temperatures that can plummet to, minus 50 degrees Celsius?
Minus 50. Incredible.
These animals provide everything: milk, meat, hides for food, clothing, tools. Their whole nomadic lifestyle is dictated by the reindeer's need for fresh grazing areas.
So they're constantly moving.
Roughly every month, they move their conical tents called urtsa to find new pastures.
And how do they transport everything? The reindeer help.
Yes, but taming them for transport is this intricate, patient process. They place progressively heavier weights on their backs each month, starting when they're young.
Sort of training them gradually.
Exactly. Preparing them to carry people and supplies during migrations. It's a systematic approach, shows their deep understanding of animal behavior.
And that sacred connection, it must influence every aspect of daily life.
Absolutely. The men are primarily responsible for taming, grazing, and protecting the reindeer.
From predators.
Yeah, from formidable predators like wolves and bears. It's a constant threat in the taiga. A challenging, vital task requiring constant vigilance.
And the sources mention shamans too, often the husbands.
Yes, they play a key role. They wear these special cloaks during ceremonies, designed to make them look like large birds, moving as if they are great animals. It embodies that deep spiritual connection to their surroundings.
Like the Hadza Hunter, the Satan-faced threats too, right?
They do. Despite their deep resilience, their traditional culture is under pressure. Modern laws, for instance. Prohibitions on vital hunting activities, even for sustenance. This directly impacts their ability to sustain themselves, challenging ancestral practices. It creates this tension between their ways and external legal frameworks.
And beyond human laws, climate change must be a factor there too.
Severely. It's impacting their habitat significantly, leading to imbalances in natural cycles, changes in snow, ice patterns. This reduces resources for both the reindeer and the Satan themselves. It disrupts that delicate balance they've maintained for generations.
And it's not just external laws or environmental shifts, is it? I read about younger Satan leaving.
Yes, there's a growing trend of young Satan moving to cities for what they see as an easier life, maybe with more modern conveniences.
That must worry the elders.
It's a significant concern. The elders hold this deep conviction that true happiness lies in a simple life, directly connected to nature, a life they experience daily, taking care of the reindeer, living in their modest Urza. It definitely creates a generational divide.
So how do they define happiness then, elders?
It's profound. For the Satan, happiness isn't merely the absence of hunger, thirst, or sickness, though those are practical concerns, of course.
Right.
It's found in the essence of nature, in survival itself, in awakening one's wild spirit.
A wild spirit.
Yes. They believe that to live happily, you must honor and respect nature's laws. This isn't just a definition, it's a stark alternative to so much of modern society, isn't it?
Absolutely. In our world of endless consumption seeking external validation.
Exactly. The Satan find profound joy in the very act of survival and connection to nature. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes happiness is simply being in harmony with that wild spirit within.
Finding joy in tending the herd, migrating, protecting their families.
Yes, feeling life flowing by observing the world, being grateful for every second of their earthly existence. It's quite different.
Okay, having explored these worldviews tied to nomadic survival, let's pivot a bit. Let's talk about indigenous knowledge, these deeply ingrained philosophies, and how these communities often stand in stark contrast to what we call the civilized world.
Where do we go now?
We'll start with a truly fascinating individual, Mpisi, a 79-year-old Indabellan medicine man from Kampisi village in Zimbabwe.
Mpisi. Yes, I remember reading about him.
Described as being full of zest and fire, radiating vitality and wisdom despite his age.
He offers a strong, quite direct critique of the civilized world, doesn't he?
He really does. What's his main point?
He believes it makes people stupid and controls them. His concern is deeply practical. He feels people are over-relying on gadgets.
Like phones and computers.
Exactly, and thereby forgetting essential indigenous knowledge, the very skills needed for self-sufficiency.
So he's advocating for practical skills.
Passionately. Acquiring good survival skills like producing your own food, learning traditional medicine, which he claims makes you healthy and young, always. For him, this practical, self-reliant knowledge is paramount for true well-being, and he emphasizes this is something you can connect to your own life and health.
His dietary principles sound incredibly strict, too, a real testament to his philosophy.
Absolutely. He grows and eats only organic food. Corn, sorghum, millet, pumpkins, watermelons, peanuts, beans.
And he even supplies city dwellers.
Yes, those who, as he puts it, can't work. He vehemently rejects city food, cites a lot of chemicals, proclaims himself a staunch naturalist.
And there was that unique detail about neutralizing chemicals in truck tires.
Oh yeah, that was something else. Boiling truck tire rubber with salt to neutralize the chemicals.
It's a striking example of his deep-seated naturalist philosophy, his profound suspicion of manufactured goods.
Right. Reflecting his belief that you are putting chemicals in your body, even through your clothes. He sees it as practicing witchcraft on your body, yourself, with your mind.
It's an incredibly different perspective, isn't it?
It's a completely different paradigm, and his philosophy on happiness is deeply communal, a stark contrast to the individualism often found in modern urban settings.
How does he define happiness?
He believes it lies in coming together, being with other people, sharing.
Can you give an example?
He vividly describes how, if there's food, you put it out for everyone, even strangers. They'll take you into their homes. If they have even one goat, they slaughter it for collective joy. As a point of pride, communal celebration.
It's amazing.
And he contrasts this sharply with cities where, he says, it's one man for himself. Notes the profound lack of peace, love, social life due to excessive work, overwhelming focus on money.
He sees money itself as destructive.
Yes, something human beings are taking advantage of to destroy their lives, leading to constant stress, no rest. What an incredibly powerful indictment of modern urban life from his perspective, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. It forces you to reevaluate what societal progress truly means. He also holds a truly unconventional view on pain, doesn't he?
He does indeed. Mpisi believes pain is essential. for molding character, for teaching people to differentiate pain from fear.
How does he teach that?
He even describes how babies are handled by their legs and swung as if you're dropping them, specifically to teach them this distinction from a very young age.
Wow, that's intense.
He states that every young man, when they grow, they should feel pains, as it can mold you to be what you are in future. This perspective on controlled pain as a way to build strength. It's really thought-provoking.
So what's Mpisi's core message then?
In essence, it's a powerful call for responsibility, for living in harmony with nature. He constantly cautions against chemicalizing and depleting the environment.
Because nature loves us.
Exactly. He emphasizes that nature always loves us, but we often do wrong things to it. He wants people to think wisely, to connect to themselves, stressing that we're not just doing things for ourselves or our country, but for the world, for everybody.
His wisdom transcends his village. It feels like a message for all of humanity.
It really does. Rethink our relationship with the planet.
Okay, from the wisdom of Mpisi, let's travel now to the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta Mountains of Colombia.
To meet the Kogi.
Descendants of the ancient Tairona civilization. What makes them so unique is that they voluntarily retreated into these mountains centuries ago, specifically to avoid contamination by the Western world.
A powerful decision to preserve their way of life.
Their worldview is truly profound, isn't it? Stands in stark contrast to so much of global society.
It really does. They see themselves as elder brothers.
Elder brothers. Who are the younger brothers?
That's us, city people, those of concrete and rush. They believe they must reteach us younger brothers the vital connection to nature because, as they say, we are actually destroying it.
They see the earth as alive.
Not just alive, as a living mother. Every tree has a soul, every river is a vein. And this body, this mother, is suffering. They feel this suffering deeply. They want to be the voice of nature.
It's a literal physical connection they feel.
Yes, and it underpins their entire existence.
And central to their community are the mamo.
The spiritual guides. Chosen in childhood, they undergo years of isolation and darkness, dedicating their entire lives to safeguarding the balance between humanity and the planet.
Their understanding of this balance dictates everything.
And for them, happiness. It's found in the simple yet powerful act of living without causing harm and thanking the earth.
Thanking the earth constantly.
They constantly keep the earth in their thoughts, believing that without her, they are nothing. It's a spiritual commitment that profoundly shapes their daily actions.
Their cultural practices are equally unique. The white clothes, for example.
Yes, strictly adhered to. Only white, natural fiber clothes, like the hand-woven gama backpack and the poporo gourd used for chewing coca leaves.
And the coca chewing, it's not recreational.
No, absolutely not. It's a mild stimulant used for endurance, keeping their minds sharp during their vital all-night discussions.
So the white clothes aren't just tradition.
They believe younger brothers' clothes carry negative vibrations, that they change their energy.
So it underpins their strict cultural adherence.
Exactly. They've always dressed this way. Changing would mean no longer being ourselves.
And the men's meeting house, the new way.
A pivotal gathering place. Men assemble there all night, chewing coca with lime from their symbolic poporo to stay active, awake for long discussions.
What do they discuss?
Their philosophy, their cosmic vision, and it serves as vital teachings on how to be good fathers and husbands.
Like practical advice.
Yes. Men are taught to work, care for their children because they might go hungry without them, not to speak harshly to their wives, avoid stealing, avoid alcohol. It's a comprehensive education in harmonious living and responsibility. Reflects the values they believe are essential for a balanced community.
So their overarching mission is?
Clear and urgent. Protect the trees, the water, the earth, the animals, the plants.
Because everything is connected.
Everything. Harm done in one place impacts far-off areas. It reinforces their heartfelt plea for humanity to stop hurting her. They don't do this out of ideology or fear, but because it's natural. For them, protecting the earth is part of life itself.
Their very existence is a living prayer for the planet.
A powerful message for all of us.
Okay, moving now to some truly compelling stories of resilience. Resilience in the face of profound adversity, both environmental and social. We're journeying to Ethiopia's Omo Valley.
The Omo Valley, a place of incredible diversity and challenges.
Here we find the Kara, one of the smallest tribes, only around 2,000 people. Renowned for their elaborate body decoration, clay, mud, ash.
Not just art, though. It's a form of communication, expressing belonging, identity within their community.
But they face a major environmental threat, don't they? The Jibe III Dam.
Yes, a huge issue. Constructed upstream on the Omo River, it's drastically reduced the river's water level.
By how much?
An alarming 8 to 10 meters, causing immense problems.
How does that impact them directly?
Food security, primarily. Reduced fish populations. And it hinders the natural fertilization of land for their crops, sorghum, corn, crucial for their sustenance.
And what's unsettling is their understanding of why this is happening.
Often, they attribute this devastation to God's punishment, unaware of the dam's existence.
Do they think they did something wrong?
Yes, believing God is punishing them. It highlights their isolation from the modern world's impact, these unseen forces affecting their lives.
Their social structure has very distinct roles, I understand.
Essential for survival. Women are primarily responsible for cultivating crops, managing granaries, fetching water, firewood, preparing food. They're the backbone of the community's sustenance.
And the men?
Armed men watch from a distance, protect the village, defend their land, provide security, project strength.
But there are challenging practices, too. The sources mention Mingi children.
Yes, it's important to acknowledge that. The abandonment of Mingi, or cursed children, in the forest, leaving them to die.
Why are they considered cursed?
Often due to circumstances of their birth out of wedlock, the upper tooth erupting first, certain physical deformities. It presents a profound ethical dilemma for us, of course. But it's a deep-seated part of their cultural preservation, a difficult aspect of their worldview.
On the other hand, their rites of passage show incredible resilience and identity. The Borkoto ceremony.
Yes, a powerful display. Young men are struck with poles and sticks by the entire village.
To prove their resilience.
Exactly. To transition into adulthood. The resulting scars are worn with immense pride, not just decoration like some other tribes. They're indelible symbols of virility, life experience.
I remember reading about a man proud of his scars.
Yes, stating, "I wouldn't be a real man if I didn't show everyone my scars. It would mean I've never fought for my life."
And the man who lost his ear fighting for land.
Said he lost the land but retained his honor. It's a profound connection between physical hardship and personal dignity. Challenges our own definitions of courage, doesn't it?
It really does. Now, despite being considered the most peaceful tribe in the Omo Valley,
Often acting as a buffer between more aggressive groups, maintaining good relations through trade.
they still carry weapons, AK-47s.
They do. Often obtained from South Sudan after its civil war, acquired for protection against aggressive neighboring tribes, particularly the Ignongatum.
But strictly for defense.
That's what they emphasize, not for attack. Interestingly, the value of a weapon can also be part of a wedding dowry, symbolizing a man's ability to protect his family, his status. It's a complex balance, peaceful coexistence and necessary self-defense in a volatile region.
Their courtship rituals sound quite vibrant. The dances.
Very central to their community. The entire tribe gathers twice a week for a dance. It serves as their nightclub, their meeting place.
Where couples form.
Exactly. It's here, in these sacred moments, that young men and women choose their partners. A tradition so old no one knows when it began. It's their social hub. Friendships made, relationships formed, a vibrant expression of cultural continuity.
But the Kar chief sounds worried about the future.
He offers a poignant reflection. Says they used to be called the people of the river, but now the river is retreating, and with it, their existence.
He fears the culture might disappear.
Fears his children might no longer recognize their culture as the land shrinks. For the Kara, happiness is simply to stay, to exist in peace, to belong to something eternal, felt most keenly in the vibrant present of their dances, their community life.
Their prayer is for the water to return.
So that life may still endure here, a powerful plea for the basic elements that sustain them.
And the Karo, also in the Omo Valley, they face similar challenges from the dams, right?
Very similar. Low water levels, land erosion, immense difficulty accessing water. Survival is a constant negotiation with their environment.
Have they adapted?
Historically, they were pastoralists, but disease, worsening drought, forced them to shift to farming.
What do they grow?
Relying on crops like sorghum, which needs less water. But foreign developments add pressure.
Like what?
Extensive Turkish cotton farming projects upstream, they exacerbate the water scarcity. Another layer of pressure highlights that complex interplay of global economics and local environmental impact.
Yet they still maintain their cultural expression. Body paint.
Intricate body painting, yes. Using chalk collected from the river, turning themselves into living art. And the bull jumping rite of passage for boys.
Running across bulls' backs.
Yes. Still a significant perilous tradition, symbolizing courage and transition into manhood.
Okay, let's journey now to the Chua of Malawi. Their lands devastated by drought and storms.
Highlighting that direct, severe impact of environmental shifts, undoubtedly exacerbated by climate change, making survival a struggle against forces beyond their immediate control.
But they have a profound spiritual connection to nature.
Deeply profound. They believe their ancestors lived through the land and trees. Every harvest isn't just food, it's a sacred gift, nourishing the body, but especially the soul of the entire tribe.
And the baobab tree.
The sacred baobab, ancient, massive, stands as the soul of their village, a gateway to the spirit world, where all important ceremonies, prayers, rituals connecting with ancestors take place, a powerful symbol of continuity, spiritual grounding.
And then there's Jeffrey. His story sounds incredible.
A powerful example of internal resilience, external impact. He studied abroad, then made a conscious choice to return.
Not for an easier life.
No, to give back everything he learned. He founded a small association to plant trees, working with an organization called Treedom.
And these trees are more than just trees to them.
Far more. They are ancestors who still take care of us, providing fresh fruit, medicine, compost, crucially offering independence and hope to families, acting as a buffer against floods, food scarcity.
So a tree is a message to the future.
Exactly. A way of saying, we believe tomorrow can be better. It's an inspiring story of agency and hope.
The Chua also have a unique social structure. Women as leaders.
Yes, women are the true leaders, setting principles, making the most difficult community decisions. They draw strength and guidance from their profound connection to the moon's cycles.
Guided by nature's rhythms.
Believing that by respecting these rhythms, they can best lead their people. It's a matriarchal structure that offers a powerful counter-narrative to many other societal models.
And their rituals sound captivating. The healer with the mirror.
Fascinating, isn't it? A traditional healer, sometimes called a witch doctor, uses a mirror to see your soul, ensuring visitors pure intentions by pricking them with a pin. If no blood or pain, intentions are pure.
Wow. And the maize pounding ceremony.
Described as a sacred and magical moment, celebrating life and food, masks embodying ancestors give blessings. The first blows of the pounding are struck by these masks, these sacred spiritual entities, blessing the moment.
And Jeffrey's vision goes beyond trees. He's building a school.
Actively building a school, yes. Currently halfway done due to limited funds, but aiming to change the future for children, women, farmers in his tribe.
How does he see happiness?
As supporting others.
Yeah.
Connecting those dots in their lives by giving them hope. He embodies the belief that he is here to change things, acting as a ladder to help others climb higher, especially widowed women or orphaned children.
A testament to the power of one individual.
Profound positive change from within his community.
Next, we discover an incredibly unique community. Dali Koumbè in Mauritania.
Ah, yes, the community where so many are blind.
A staggering 1 in 2 people is blind. The cause remains a mystery. Maybe water, maybe genetics. But it defines their reality. Extremely isolated, 1,000 kilometers deep in the Sahel Desert. No internet, no modern conveniences.
Yet despite this, they've achieved remarkable stability and unity between sighted and non-sighted members.
Their unique abilities are revered.
Yes, there's a belief that the blind can sense things others cannot, like water sources hidden under the sand, a vital skill in the desert.
There's a legend about it.
Says it all started centuries ago. An ancestor dreamed of an entity who announced she would give birth to the most virtuous man, but without eyes. And since then, every descendant would be born blind. It gives their condition a sacred, predestined meaning, transformed what might be seen as a disability into a spiritual distinction.
Their daily life sounds like a constant struggle, though.
Against climatic adversities, resource scarcity, food often comes seasoned with a little sand from the Sahara Desert.
Yet their markets are described positively.
As an oasis of abundance and opportunity, characterized by generosity, warm hospitality, a stark contrast to the harsh environment.
And the Aratini, former slaves.
Yes, who've earned their freedom and now work for wages. Often doing the most menial jobs, like brick making from desert sand and crushed rocks, paid piecework for every brick. Their story is deeper than eyes can see, a history of hardship, a present of hard-won freedom and dignity.
And at the spiritual core, the Imam teaching the Quran.
Using wooden tablets practical to protect from goats eating paper. This act of teaching and learning is a source of profound happiness for him. Dedicating his life to inspiring children with God's words, he himself learned the Quran by memorizing every word as he cannot read, embodying the power of oral tradition and faith.
So how do they define happiness there?
deeply rooted in their circumstances and faith, finding resources to help their poor community, teaching gratitude for what life has given them, and the enduring power of faith, viewing their blindness as God's will.
Their story becomes a metaphor.
A metaphor of existence, where inner strength can always overcome the lack of light, navigating shadows with their hearts and faith as a compass. It forces us to reconsider how much we rely on physical senses versus inner resilience.
Finally, let's briefly touch upon the Himba people in Namibia. Sleeping outdoors amid snakes, scorpions, building houses from sticks and metal scraps sounds incredibly hard to us.
But what stands out is their profound adaptation. They simply don't have any fear and don't pity themselves.
So difficulties are just everyday life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It illustrates this deep-seated resilience. What outsiders might see as hardship is just their reality. Highlights a fundamentally different measure of hardship, comfort. Showcases how human experience is shaped by context, perception, not universal standards. Makes you question what we define as comfort, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Now let's explore some truly unique cultural practices and worldviews, ones that shape identity, community, conflict. We're back in the Omo Valley.
Okay, to meet the Suri.
They have this reputation, fierce and violent, often seen with AK-47s. But the sources note they welcome those who come in peace.
Their most iconic practice, of course, is the women's lip plates. Controversial, but with a fascinating, somewhat disturbing history.
Originating during the slave trade.
It said so, yes. Intentionally deforming bodies to appear less attractive to traders, piercing the lower lip, progressively enlarging the whole.
But it evolved into something else.
Incredibly, yes, into a source of pride and cultural identity, a form of beauty. Larger plates signify higher dowries, up to 20 cows, and attract the best man.
The process sounds painful.
Understandably, piercing, stretching, removing lower teeth to fit the plate. Ash is often used to anesthetize the lips.
But it's changing now. Some younger women don't want it.
There's a rising trend, yes. Young women choosing not to undergo the practice, though the sources indicate it does affect their marriage prospects. Creates an interesting tension between tradition and individual choice.
And beyond lip plates, other body modifications. Scarification.
Yes, scarifications act as tattoos telling their stories. Considered beautiful decorations, more scars, more attractive to men.
And elaborate hairstyles.
For unmarried women seeking partners, yes. Clearly signaling their availability, there's a clear artistic, communicative purpose to their body art, a living canvas of their history and status.
Cattle play a central, complex role too, right?
Absolutely central. Represent wealth, source of food, fresh cow blood mixed with milk as an energy drink. They rarely kill the animal unless it's very old.
But also a source of conflict.
A major cause. Young men often steal cows from other tribes for dowries, leading to tribal wars, frequently fought with those AK-47s from South Sudan. These conflicts can result in serious injury or death. A stark reminder of how one resource can drive both sustenance and immense violence.
And the danga, the stick-fighting ritual.
A particularly violent ritual, a crucial rite of passage for boys becoming men, using formidable byre sticks, long, heavy poles designed for combat.
That's the goal.
To physically and mentally subdue an opponent. While the intention isn't necessarily to kill, it often results in severe injuries, even death. Young men like gladiators in an arena.
And the winner gets.
The highly coveted right to choose any woman he desires. Women are reportedly thrilled to be chosen by the strongest man. It's a powerful, brutal display of masculinity, virility, deeply ingrained in their social fabric.
So how do the Suri define happiness amidst all this?
Diverse perspectives, often shaped by their challenging lives. For women, often breastfeeding a strong baby, preserving culture. For men, achieving marriage, building a home.
But some have a different view. The chief.
Yes, for some, particularly the chief, it's dreaming of living in peace. Seeing their children grow without fear or revenge, understanding the beauty of life's simple moments, the silence of morning birdsong wind through trees.
He found happiness late in life.
He reflects that, yes, and hopes his children will understand it through his words, not through life's hard lessons. A poignant wish for a less violent future.
Okay, our journey continues to Papua New Guinea now, to meet the Huli.
Ah, the wig men.
Known for their distinctive wigs. Definitely one of those surprising facts that makes you lean in.
The Huli men craft these intricate wigs from their own hair. It can take, 5 to 6 years to grow?
That long?
Yes, to get the necessary length and thickness. Shaped with bamboo bands, adorned with vibrant bird feathers, creating unique, elaborate designs.
Are they just ceremonial?
While some are sold to tourists or passed down, they remain central to Huli male identity, a symbol of status, cultural heritage. There's even a wig school for 14-year-old boys.
A wig school?
A secret place by a creek where they reportedly use magic spells for hair growth. Reinforces the deep cultural, spiritual significance of these unique creations.
What's really striking, though, is their strict gender separation.
Very strict, very unique. Men and women live and eat separately, even married couples.
Why is that?
Driven by the belief that women are dirty creatures due to menstruation. This dictates many social rules.
Like boys leaving their mothers early.
Yes, boys move from their mother's care to the men's house at age 4. Women are prohibited from even entering men's areas, including feasts where men and women eat separately, have their own assigned foods, a deep-seated cultural belief shaping their entire social structure. And this separation extends to diet, too.
Yes, further reinforcing the gender-segregated living. Men consume specific prized parts of pig ribs, liver. Women are designated pig intestines and blood, often cooked inside bamboo tubes. Not just preference, another layer of culturally defined roles and perceived differences. Next, we meet the Churi, the Crocodile tribe, also in Papua New Guinea.
Living a remarkably self-sufficient lifestyle. No electricity, no Wi-Fi, deep reliance on their environment, traditional skills, seemingly untouched by the digital age.
Their connection to crocodiles sounds foundational.
Deeply. They believe Earth rests on an ancestral crocodile. The animal embodies spirit, manhood, strength, power in their cosmology.
And the scarification ritual, mimicking crocodile scales.
A crucial rite of passage at age 17, signifying courage, resilience, marking the transition into manhood, not just symbolic, a living, physical part of their identity, rooted in creation myths and traditions.
The sources also mention historical practices, headhunting, cannibalism.
Yes, it's important to note these sensitive topics are discussed only in the men-only spirit house.
A sacred place.
Where men gather to speak freely about tribal customs, responsibilities of manhood, including these past practices, emphasizes the private, ritualized context for sharing such histories.
What's their daily diet like?
Primarily fish and sago. They have traditional methods for cooking crocodile smoked or stewed in coconut milk using every part.
Are they completely isolated from modern ideas?
While largely traditional, they do value education. Primary schools in the village, sons encouraged to become teachers, shows some adaptation, however.
They don't wear outside clothes.
Believe wearing younger brother's clothes changes their energy negatively, strictly forbidden. Reinforces commitment to their unique cultural identity. And like the Kogi, the men's house is central for philosophical discussions, teaching men to be good fathers, husbands, often fueled by chewing coca leaves with lime from a poporo for endurance.
Now let's explore a truly unique connection between humans and animals. The Wonunguli in Tanzania.
A branch of the Himba tribe, devoted to traditional snake medicine and handling, even the world's most poisonous black mamba.
Astonishing. What's their core purpose?
Not fear or dominance, but education, showing people snakes aren't all dangerous, teaching identification, safely relocating problem snakes from villages.
They believe humans and snakes can be friends.
Firmly believe that with understanding and effort, yes. The tribe's leader inherited this traditional healing from his father, actively teaches people how to handle snake bites, even from a black mamba, a profound dedication to coexistence, practical wisdom.
Their practices sound incredible, handling venomous snakes in dances.
During the Sero dance, yes, red headbands signify qualified snake handlers, like a uniform denoting their specialized skill, their courage.
And bonding involves removing scales.
Even more astonishing, yes. A practice, they say, helps them bond. They even extend an invitation to outsiders to become Wonunguli. Anyone can become a traditional snake handler if they truly dedicate themselves.
Their message is about coexistence, then.
Peaceful coexistence and education. Actively challenging the common instinct to kill any reptile with scales. Emphasizing that scales equals danger is a harmful misunderstanding, leads to unnecessary killing of non-dangerous reptiles.
They travel around educating.
Showing differences, providing a safe environment, helping save snakes, educate people not to harm them unnecessarily. An incredible story of transforming fear into understanding.
Finally, we turn to the Mwila people of Angola. They seem welcoming initially. Gifts of chicken.
Yes, our first encounter shows that welcoming nature, sets a tone of generosity, openness, even to strangers.
They practice a significant circumcision ritual for boys, described as painful.
Yes. Typically performed at 7 a.m. The village chief explains the pains are purposeful.
Purposeful how?
Intended to instill conscience, prepare boys for future hardships, ensure they understand that life is not easy, build confidence for their families. After the ritual, boys spend a month in a hut outside the village, learning what it means to suffer, become a responsible man, not just physical, a profound mental, spiritual transition.
Their daily life involves grinding grains, making beer.
Grinding millet and masambala grains into flour for porridge and macau beer, a fermented drink. And there's a fascinating perspective shared about killing animals for food.
What's that?
That while modern society is distanced from it, directly participating fosters a profound respect for life's value. An interesting contrast to how many of us consume meat without that direct first-hand connection to its source.
They also seem skeptical of mass media.
Very skeptical. Believe it convinces you to stay home, keeps you in a box, promotes fear, consumption.
What do they advocate instead?
Vehemently advocate for getting the hell out to see the world, asserting the world is kind. That by witnessing it firsthand, one forgets the worries modern messaging tries to instill, a powerful call to personal experience over mediated information, a direct challenge to the digital bubbles many of us inhabit.
And despite the lack of modern screens, they cherish music and dancing.
Absolutely. Universal human expressions. Young boys perform the lizard dance. These vibrant activities are central to their community life celebrations, illustrating how fundamental these expressions are to human connection, joy, regardless of technology, highlights that enduring human need for communal celebration.
Well, that brings our deep dive to a close for today. Wow. What an incredible, profound journey we've taken.
It really covered a lot of ground.
Exploring this vast diversity of human operating systems across the globe, from the radically present nomadic Hadza
to the resilient Kara enduring those environmental pressures like the Jafar Dam.
The ancient wisdom of the Indabel, the profoundly connected spirit of the Kogi. Each community, a universe unto itself, offering such unique lessons.
We've truly touched on some overarching themes, haven't we? That profound, often sacred connection to nature that defines so many of these tribes.
Right.
Their innovative adaptations to environmental and social pressures, often driven by the encroachment of commercial projects, impacts of pollution, deforestation.
Yeah, the external pressures are huge.
And the unique ways they define and find happiness, whether it's through community, resilience, or that spiritual harmony. But we've also seen the struggles. Shrinking lands, limited access to food, the inexorable advance of the modern world on their traditional ways.
It's also important to remember, as we saw, that some of these tribes receive direct government support or external aid.
That's a key point.
Like the Hadza getting modern tools, cornmeal, or the Chua working with Treatum to plant trees, even the Kara obtaining those AK-47s from South Sudan. It points to a complex interaction with external forces.
Exactly. It showcases the various, often complex forms of engagement these communities have with the outside world. Their stories aren't just about isolation. They're also about dynamic, sometimes challenging interaction.
So for you, our listener, we leave you with this final provocative thought. In a world grappling with information overload, complex challenges, what fundamental lessons about community, resilience, the true meaning of happiness can we really glean from these diverse perspectives?
That's the question, isn't it? How might adopting a more present, perhaps, or connected or harmonious approach, inspired by these tribes, reshape our own understanding of a well-lived life?
What surprising fact or profound worldview will you carry with you from this deep dive long after our voices fade?